So it's only after 13 years of marriage and 2 kids I realized that मैं क्या ही कर रही हूँ अपने life के साथ. My husband encouraged me to join his business, but the number game just went above my head. I'm bad at numbers. I think the first thing would be third, at least start that.
I think you'll have to say second.
And the fourth thing is just
Fifth
friends.
thing. Now the fifth.
The fifth thing, numbers really kill me out.
I use the word cartoon for anime, and that got the entire anime community come and bash me. Thousands of comments. What are top 3 ways you monetize your Instagram channel?
I hated my voice. I would never like to record myself and hear my own voice because I really hated it.
How did your content creation journey help you land in MasterChef?
Only thing I was doing 3 times a day, 365 days a year was cooking. So I decided to start on that. And I think rest is history, and that's where it all started.
Welcome to episode 8 of Grow Your Influence podcast. And in today's podcast, I have Aruna Vijay, who has been the top 4 finalist of MasterChef Season 7. And today in this podcast, we're going to explore how Instagram helped her get inside MasterChef Season 7. And not just that, how did she grow 600k plus followers on Instagram as a platform, and what kind of opportunities she has been earning as a housewife. So let's get started. Wow, so I'm so excited to see you on the show today, especially after I've been seeing your growth, which has been exponential in the last few months.
Thank you.
And are we ready for this one today?
Yes, I think finally it's happening. So I think I'm ready now.
Yeah, both of us have been super busy, but finally this is happening. So I have a few questions, and the whole ideology behind this is to see how we can inspire a lot of people to become like you and learn from you in this particular Grow Your Influence podcast. So my first question to you today is, living your passion after marriage, after giving birth to kids, how did it happen?
I think we're starting on a very heavy question. This is going to be a slightly long one. So for those of you who don't know, I got married very early. I was like just 22 when I got married, 23 when I had kids. So it's only after 13 years of marriage and 2 kids I realized that मैं क्या ही कर रही हूँ अपने life के साथ. And the person who made me realize this was my daughter. She came home from school one day. She's like, Mama, मेरी friend की वो मम्मी ये कर रही है, मेरे friend की वो पापा वो कर रहे हैं, आप क्या कर रहे हो? That really shook me, Saurav. I'm like, मैं क्या ही कर रही हूँ? It's not that being a homemaker is a bad thing or something, but I was looking for my identity. She was asking कि मम्मी क्या है? मेरी मम्मी क्या है? And that's when मुझे लगा, then my husband encouraged me to join his business. I did join, but the number game just went above my head. I'm bad at numbers, so मुझे कुछ नहीं समझ में आया, but I did try over there. Then I realized that I'll start something on my own. I'm a media student, and it's been like good 17 years since I left that industry. I have no idea what's happening in that industry, so I can't go back there. To start something on my own, then I realized the only thing I was good at was cooking. Because after 13 years of marriage, being a stay-at-home mom, only thing I was doing 3 times a day, 365 days a year was cooking. So I think that was my strength. So I decided to start on that. But with kids, I was not allowed to step out of the house to work. It was not possible. My kids were quite young. And just post-lockdown, the social media boom happened. I decided to tap on it. Started posting my recipes on Instagram as pictures first, then as reels, then as, started improvising more on that. Started, getting very good response from the audience. And I think rest is history, and that's where it all started from.
Wow. What I see is you capitalized on the education you had, which was media.
Yes.
And then you encased on your biggest strength, which was cooking.
Yeah.
Which is very important. Sometimes people forget that
cooking is a skill.
Cooking is a skill. And the niche that you discover is very important, and it has to be something that you are really interested in.
Yeah.
So as you said, you are not good at numbers.
No, I didn't. I tried. Abhi bhi jab check fill karti hu, I end up doing some mistake or the other, and I'm thinking, okay, this is not me. I should just go back to doing what I'm good at. And I think I just played on my strengths. So it's very important point here is play on your strengths. You should discover your strength and just play on it. And that really helped me.
Amazing. How do you try to be relevant yet different in the heavily competitive food industry?
The only way to be relevant is just be you, because there's no one else like you, right? If you're trying to copy somebody else and be like somebody else, then people are not going to connect with you. When social media is a platform where people connect with you for your personality, for who you are, your ideology. So the only way to stay relevant for me is being me. I did, rumble in the beginning. I was like, मैं ये भी कर लूँ, मैं वो भी कर लूँ. I did try a lot of things, and I realized that's not me. Even today, I can't do, like you suggest me, I do not do this, आप ये करो, then I can't do certain things because that doesn't reflect with my ideology. I can't do certain things. So I think being you is the only way to be relevant.
Amazing. So you mean to say that all that you've been trying to do in your food industry space is because that's something that you personally believe in,
Yes, totally.
personally experienced?
Yes, because there are a lot of trends that are going on. I just posted something day first today saying, in the world of trends, I still have to be a classic. Aaj kitna trend chal raha? No oil, zero oil, this, that. I think that's not me. I can never post a zero oil recipe because that's not something I would encourage somebody to eat. I would never say ki aap zero oil wala khana khao because that is not healthy. It could be a trend, it could be a fad currently, but you should go back to your nutritionist, ask, and she's going to say it's not healthy. So I think being you is what is going to make you relevant.
Right. Coming from a Marwari background.
यार घी बिना तो खाना होता ही
सही
नहीं
बात
है.
है. How did your content creation journey help you land in MasterChef?
I think that was the only reason I landed on MasterChef because post lockdown, I started making reels. I'm sure you know my journey from the beginning. So one day I got a random DM from the MasterChef team saying, it was just an ad that said, MasterChef next season is coming up. Would you like to come and audition? I was like, yeah, somebody's messaging me. I think I should just go try. And that's the only reason I connected with the MasterChef team and I got to audition. So I think I would just give the due credit to Instagram for making me go to MasterChef.
Wow. Basically, if you're serious on Instagram, you get noticed.
You can, you can open world of opportunities if you know what you're doing.
Right.
It can really help you. People from all over the world connect. Like I went to Uganda last week. Just because somebody saw my work on Instagram, I was invited all the way to East Africa. I didn't know a place like that existed also. I mean, map mein dhoond rahi hu wo kahan hai. I know Africa. I'm like, East Africa kahan aata hai? Uganda kahan aata hai? And people are like, why you want to go to Uganda? It's not a safe place, but it's one of the most beautiful countries that I've visited. So I think if you're going to be consistent on Instagram and you know what you're doing, it can take you places.
Wow. I think that's very inspiring because a lot of people, especially when they want to get into MasterChef, they're just trying to figure out how to get there. Instead of figuring out how to get there, you should just work on yourself and just show what you know to the world through your social media channels. And that's a classic example today. So people who get popular on TV get easy followers on Instagram. As a MasterChef contestant, how would you justify the statement?
No, I don't think this is true. There are people who have won the show before me who have less followers than me right now. So your popularity is nothing to do with your numbers. It's just how much effort that you put in, how you connect with your audience that's going to get you an increase in numbers. So it's nothing to do with your popularity on TV and the numbers.
Amazing. Good one. Food versus food styling. On social media, aesthetically pleasing food goes viral. What are your top 3 food presentation tips that you would like to give to people?
Okay, now I don't know if, aesthetically ones go viral because, even this, you can't predict what is going to go viral, but I can tell you what will help you make very good videos. The first one is natural light. I think food looks the best in natural light. So if you have natural light, just tap on it. The second one would be angles. Angles can really make or break your dish. It's how you show your dish can really make people, crave for it. I feel so a lot of close-up and low angles make your food look very, very appealing and very, appetizing. That's very important. Second is angles. And the third would be plating because people are going to eat with the eyes first. Your dish should look, well plated and neat. And so I think these 3 are very important.
Nice one. What are top 3 ways you monetize your Instagram channel?
I think I'm going to take this from you. I heard this way back in from one of your reels. There's no point building a 1 million community if you don't know how to monetize from your audience. So I think I learned from that and I realized that I need to do it. Of course, for creators, the first thing would be brand collaborations. So a very good place to start would be brand collaborations. And the second one would be workshops. That's something from my industry that works is workshops. Could be offline, could be online. Because by now you build a community.
Right.
You should know people start trusting you. When you call for a workshop, people know that she's going to teach you something good. It's going to be like a useful thing. So you build your community, use for making workshops. That works in my industry. And the third would be ebooks. It's so difficult to go back and search recipes on Instagram. So just compile your recipes, like put it South Indian, North Indian, salads and soup. So people can just go buy the workshop, those books from ebooks from your page. And I think these 3 are a very good way to monetize.
I think one of the most important ones that you missed was speaking opportunities, which you got in Uganda. So that's also, yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that also could be one. But I think to monetize these 3 things, like I said, if you're going to be on Instagram consistently, it will take you places.
Amazing. My bhabi is one of your biggest fans. She attends most of your workshops.
Okay.
Not that she cooked anything out of it, but yeah.
It's okay. As long as she learns something about that.
But yeah. So what's your workshop all about? Would you like to tell something?
So I do a lot of workshops offline right now because I think online I've moved to offline now. It's all about, I take a particular cuisine, I teach them, could be any festivity related. So it's basic about cooking. but based on the festivities, what is coming.
Nice. Instagram or YouTube, what's your recommendation for a person who's planning to start a cooking channel?
I think YouTube is a great place to start, but YouTube requires a lot of time and effort, which I didn't have when I started. I didn't have the knowledge, so I started with Instagram. But anyone starting out, I think YouTube would be a great platform because that's where you can build community. People, build trust and build community. But Instagram is direct connectivity with the audience. You can reply to their DMs, you can talk to them, you can chat with them, you get to know your audience better. It's best of both the worlds, but if you're starting, YouTube is the place to start.
Nice. Instagram's changed your life. How? Would you like to inspire other women at this point of time?
I think I want to be the face of every homemaker, every housewife who's given up on herself. Shaadi ho gaya, bachche ho gaya, ab to life ho gaya, khatam. What do? No. You start living for yourself. This is when you start living for yourself. I feel life has given me a second chance. If I can do it, millions of homemakers like me can definitely do it. So I think social media has been the place for me.
Amazing. So, just 2-3 hours a day itself is good enough for you to build something stronger, right? Because they have a lot of time constraints.
Yes. Of course, I started like that. I would wake up at 5, cook for my family and send them off to office at 10:30 to 1 is when I shoot my reels. And that's 3 hours I would take in the beginning. But now, of course, I built, taken more time and build my team. But I think 3 hours is good enough to start off with.
Nice. Perfection syndrome makes a lot of creators not post content. Did you ever shoot anything but did not upload it?
Many a times. Recently, I dumped an entire IP of 5 recipes, 6 recipes because, it didn't look good. It didn't look the way I wanted. It does happen a lot of time. But I think I've realized something that try to be perfect. Just be consistent, which is more important. So don't look for perfection. Consistency is the key.
Right. In the beginning, all your videos were just aesthetic shots without your face or voiceover. What prompted you to take the decision to come in front of the camera? Because that really boosted the engagement from what we have seen so far.
Okay. I was a super camera shy person. I had never liked the way I looked. I hated my voice. I would never like to record myself and hear my own voice because I really hated it. But after going on MasterChef, you have 16 cameras looking at you constantly like an owl. You get used to camera. You don't realize there's a camera in the room. You forget that the camera is a thing. So I think that gave me confidence to come in front of the cam. But something I like to see to a lot of creators who are starting out, who just do hand shots or khud ko, not showing their face. It's very important to come in front of the cam. Because people don't want to see the food. They want to see the person behind the food. How you dress, how you talk, how you smile. All these really matters. That's what people connect with your personality, not just the food. So if you're somebody starting out, please come out and show your face. Don't be shy. And it's really going to make a huge difference.
Right. I always say this to baker. Instead of just posting a photograph of the food that you're making or the cakes that you're baking, you rather have your face attached to it.
Yes.
Because people associate with face more than the photos.
Very true.
I can take the photos from the internet and just upload it otherwise.
Yes.
Right. You've done more than 600 recipes so far. Which is your favorite one? Do you remember your first ever food recipe you posted?
I don't know if I remember the first one. I think it was an idli podi. I know I don't remember my first one, but my favorite one was my banana leaf idli. I think I'm really proud of what I created over there. It just happened by mistake, but I think that's been one of my favorites.
Wow, by mistake went viral.
Yes, went viral.
That's nice.
Went viral for some other reason. I'll tell that later.
Okay, you would like to tell it now?
I think all the reels that have gone viral so far, all because of negativity.
Wow.
Or because of negative comments that went viral. My top 3 reels that went viral was limca pani puri. It was a random recipe that I make at home. So we add a limca to the pani puri ka pani. People are like, how can you make pani puri unhealthy? Okay, when was pani puri actually healthy? That I don't know. And the second one was this banana leaf idli. I clearly didn't realize that I was stapling it. When I socha bhi nahi tha wo time pe, only after the video got edited, I realized, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just put a toothpick. I was like, might as well just post it, yaar, dekh lenge kya hoga. All the negative comments made the video viral. And the recent one was a hand blender hack, which I posted, got 25 million. Again, it was a very simple hack. I thought it was useful. People thought it was not safe. It was, very stupid of doing something like that. So I think all the negative comments was what helped.
Right. So there's an emotion attached to negativity because when people watch something, the first thought process that they have is something negative. That's what pops up first.
Okay.
So then they go in the comment section and they try to see if their thoughts is resonating with someone else's.
Okay.
So the moment they see someone else's negative thoughts, they start going and reading that, liking it, and also see what kind of replies people are giving to it. That's just what makes things go viral. I'll give you an example. One of my videos, I was trying to talk about how should your profile picture be. And there was a character of anime. And I said, instead of posting cartoons like this or flowers, I use the word cartoon for anime. And that
Oh,
got the entire anime community come and bash me. Thousands of comments. And that video went viral. And that got me millions of views. So I realized that if you do mistake by purpose, it's all the more better. So maybe do a mistake. Do a mistake in pronunciation, do a spelling error.
oh, that happens all the time. I recently pronounced one dish wrong and it's a very simple recipe of breakfast. We call it puri upma in South, but apparently it's called sushila in different parts. I just said sushila and I got like 1,000 comments saying this is not sushila. You did it wrong. How can you say, mispronounce like this?
Right. So I think instead of when we ask people, please comment something, they don't comment.
Huh.
I think the hidden agenda or the hidden idea is just
do some small mistake.
just do a small mistake and let people comment on it. And your reel starts to go viral.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of people are going to take this tip from here.
No, please, no.
Okay. Innovative, good idea. What's a simple, regular idea? What goes more viral?
Again, you can't predict Instagram. I think kabhi to you can at least read a mind of a woman, but you can't read Instagram. You really don't know what is going to go viral. So I think it depends. Sometimes my innovative ideas like the banana leaf went viral. Yesterday, something as simple as just a Shik Shack show video went viral. So I really don't know about that.
Wow. So what's your top 3 pieces of content that got you maximum followers? One is the banana one.
I think, like I said, all top 3 contents that went viral and got me more followers were all with negative comments. My Limca Pani Puri, my hand blender hack, and my recent one. Of course, what is the banana leaf? These 3 are the ones that really got me the maximum views, but all because of negativity.
So now do you try to create more content that helps you get more negativity?
No, I don't. See, all those 3 happened by mistake and that got me maximum views. But no, it doesn't happen that way.
But that's some good learning.
But I think, what went viral? The least effort I put on the reels, and those are the reels that went viral. Like the hand blender hack just took us 15 minutes to shoot, went viral. The recipes which we have put like half a day to shoot has not even crossed to 50K.
Right.
So I think sometimes the least effort, you don't even, expect anything in return, that goes.
I think we've always seen that. What we expect will not go viral actually surprises us or shocks us. That's true. What are some insecurities that run in your mind with respect to your Instagram growth?
I think I have this all the time, but I think this year I've come over it. Till last year I had this issue that I'm putting in so much effort. I think I texted you also once. Sort of, maine itna kuch kiya, reels mein views hi nahi aa rahe. You told do this, I did all of that. Still, it's not happening. What do? I do feel down. I do feel very, sad. I speak to my team. What are we doing wrong? I think we should up our game. Let's try something new. But then I realized, so after a point of time, at least from this year, I've realized I'm not going to concentrate on numbers. I'm just going to do what I do. And I think it'll all happen eventually.
True. The magic unfolds with consistency. Right. You were born and brought up in a North Indian household, but I've noticed your love for South Indian food. In fact, you have gone on the record to say your mission is to take South Indian food to a global level. Why is that so?
Okay, again, I want to clear everything for people who think that I am a South Indian married to a North Indian. A lot of confusion. Just to clear, I'm a Marwadi Jain born and brought up in Tamil Nadu. So this is my Karam Bhumi, my Janam Bhumi, and I love this land more than anything. Of course, I'm from Rajasthan. My ancestors were from Rajasthan, but I think this land has given me so much. This is the kind of food that I've grown up eating and I've attached. I have an emotional attachment to South Indian food. So I think I want to take it up national level. And one of the main reasons is, I go up in North, South India mein kya hai? Dosa, idli ke alawa tum log kya hi khate ho? I want to tell them there's so much South Indian food than just idli and dosa, guys. There's so much that, we eat. So I think that's the only reason I want to take it to global and national level.
I think all the North Indians living here have the love for sapar. They can trade anything for sapar today.
They can, no. I think for them it's dosa idli. हम वो भी dosa नहीं, dosa खाएंगे हम मेंदू वड़ा खाएंगे, and they love it. And anywhere you go, people love South Indian food.
That's true. Jain food, how conscious are you about it when you make your recipes?
Being a Jain, I try to stick to, I'm not saying I make all Jain recipes, but whenever I make something, I try to give them a Jain option when it's possible. And when we are celebrating Jain festivals, at least for the first 2 months of the festival, I think we spoke about this, I try to stick to Jain recipes because I feel there are people from my community. If I don't live up to my religion and my faith system, then what can we expect from others then? I think because when you're on Instagram, you're a role model to a lot of people. You're setting an example over here. So I think the right thing to do is, at least for the 2 months, if you're following, we don't eat greens, we don't eat any root vegetables, then let's stick to it. It's not about letting people follow, at least we're educating them. Aisa kuch hota hai Jainism mein where people don't eat. As people are getting to know more about your religion, I think so that really helps for me.
It's amazing. Good. Jains eat a lot of carbs and protein. What radical shift would you suggest them?
I think I should just leave it to the expert. I just follow my nutritionist, Dr. Shaini Surendran, and whatever tips that she gives me, I do follow. But something as simple as when you're eating a poha, add some peanuts to it, amp up your protein, add a lot of veggies. Make sure you have half quantity of poha and more than half of veggies to make it a balanced meal. So I think small changes can really make a difference.
We have something in common. Even Shiny is my nutritionist.
Oh, okay. I think she's the best.
Yeah, true. In Chennai for sure, yes. Food influencers are killing the market of chef by creating recipes just for virality. How different are you from them?
So that's the only reason I don't post any complicated recipes or fancy recipes on my Instagram page. I try to keep it as simple as possible. Something as simple as Ghar Ka Khana is my current series, that's IP that's going on. I think I would want to keep all my fancy recipes for my workshop. Agar main sab kuch yahi sikha dungi, to why will people come for my workshop?
Sure.
So I think that's very true. Jab I post something, people are like, ये तो already हमने Instagram में देख लिया, आप नया क्या ही सिखा रहे हो? So that really kills a lot of people's market. It does.
Makes sense what you just said right now. Aruna, for a housewife to start her cooking channel, what are the 5 tips that you would like to give her?
I think the first thing would be stop underestimating yourself. ये हर हाउसवाइफ का mindset है यार, मेरे को तो कुछ भी नहीं आता, I don't know anything, what will I do? Stop underestimating yourself. That's the most important thing that every wife and a housewife should be doing, or any homemaker should be doing for that matter. So first thing is have confidence. Stop underestimating yourself. Third, at least start. Don't look for professional videos. At least start. Start somewhere.
I think you'll have to say second. You said first.
Okay.
Now you have to start with second.
The second one is start somewhere. Don't look for perfection. Start is very important. Third thing is consistency. You can't be like, I posted a video today and I'll post one week later. It doesn't work that way. Be consistent. And the fourth thing is don't try to be somebody else. I like that Instagram or I'm going to follow that. No. People are coming here to see you. So you just be you and you will connect with the audience. And the fourth thing is, as housewife, play with your strengths.
The
fifth thing.
Now.
See, numbers really kill me. I'm going to tell you. You know how much I can mess up with numbers, right?
Okay. So transparent. Okay.
Okay.
इतना भी मतलब 1 2 3 4 5 भी नहीं आता. अच्छा ठीक है. अभी 5th वाला आपका. Go for it.
Okay, the 5th one is try to be as simple as possible, because as homemakers, we are not studied culinary, but we have more experience than them. So just show your experience and just do simple things that will attract people.
I had the opportunity to interview Kavita Singh.
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
Classic example.
Classic example of being simple and trying to serve the world through the best things. And I still remember when I was having a conversation with her, she said my biggest challenge is that there's a lot of noise when I do my voiceovers.
Yes.
Because the kids are playing and all of that. So she wakes up early in the morning or in the midnight to do that. She didn't even have the studio at that point of time. And this is when she had good about 20-30 lakh followers out there.
Okay.
Right? That's when she didn't even have a studio to record her own voice. So I think it's just about getting started with whatever you have, right?
Yes, very true.
How do you approach brands to work with you?
I think I just leave it to the experts. I have a team who handles it. I don't want to get into that.
Fantastic. That's something for all of us to learn. Sometimes you don't have to do things. We just have to leave it at experts, because then they will do the job.
Yes.
Sometimes we do the bad job of it.
No, you can't. You can't handle so much. That's something I realized over a period of time. When I started off, I did everything on my own. I did shoot, I edit, I set up, I cook, everything I did on my own. And it did take a toll on my stress levels. Then I decided it's not worth it. I slowly started building a team.
Amazing.
From my cameraman to editor. So I think that really helps.
Wow. I'll ask you some questions about that later. Dropping ego and collaborating with other creators. How did this really help you grow? I remember you went all over India to collaborate with so many.
I think it's always collaboration over competition. So when I started off with my Instagram journey post MasterChef last April, I clearly remember Neha Deepak Shah was coming to Chennai. And I just sent her a DM, hey, I just learned that you're coming to Chennai. Would you love to shoot something with me? At that time, she was something around 800k followers and I had about 120, 130k followers. She was very kind enough to say yes. I didn't even expect कि उसका yes का reply आएगा. But I think you should just take a step forward. ज़्यादा क्या होगा, मना ही कर देंगे ना. So I think only way to grow is collaborate with your co-creators. Learn from them, because everybody's work is different. No, when I go to their places to collaborate or shoot something, I see, okay, this is how that person shoots. Okay, this is how their camera angles are. This is why the videos look very different. So you get to learn so much. The very important thing is you're getting to meet a new set of audience from your audience. That way you're getting to grow your audience as well.
Absolutely. You introduce yourself to an audience who's already been built to trust by someone else's work. So I think that's a brilliant idea. How long does it take to shoot each video? Because I'm sure recipes take a long time to prepare and you have to squeeze the ingredients, process and good looking finished shoots in one reel.
I think from start to finish, good 6 hours for every recipe. From the time we set up, the ingredients to shoot, to edit, to... And I hate doing voiceovers. If you have an AI for voiceovers, please tell me. I will be the first one to use it. And so I think everything together takes a good 6 hours per recipe.
There is AI for voiceover.
Yes. Oh God, I think I need that. The only thing I hate doing is voiceover.
Yeah, but there would be a challenge that it wouldn't add emotion to your voice. It would.
Okay.
It will pronounce. I use it for just the starting line or something like that.
Okay.
But I've always seen that
You should come up with something which can connect really with the human person.
I'm sure there would be. There's 11 Labs which actually helps you with that.
Oh, okay.
There's a tool like that which just helps you in storing your voice, and then whatever you type, it will just pronounce it.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah, fantastic. As a mother, how does content creation help you get creative with your children?
I think my kids are the most happiest because they every day question, Mama, aaj aapne kya naya banaya? So they get to eat a lot of food. And I think that also helps, it pushes my boundary as a mother because, you want to make your first audience is your kids, Being a mother, I'm not catering to the wider audience on Instagram. My first audience is my kids and my husband. So I think I try to do my best to impress them, and I think the world will automatically get impressed. So I think I'm very happy that they push me and, do beyond my boundaries. They help me get creative. So I think my kids are a very big factor in those terms.
Fantastic. Is your child also handling your YouTube or something like that? You told me?
My daughter does voiceovers. She has an amazing voice and she has a separate fan base. And she very proudly says, Mama, aapki itne followers to meri voice ki wajah se aaye, aapki wajah se nahi hai. I'm like, okay.
Wow,
So, yeah.
that's cute. How is your team setup and home setup like for your shoot?
Oh, I've made a very clear difference between my personal life and professional life. Earlier, I did shoot at my home, but now I have a separate office where I shoot because I don't want to combine my personal life and professional life because there I have meetings, I have people coming in my studio, which I don't want to bring them home. So now I have 2 different setups for my work and thing. And over there, I have a full-fledged team now. Like I said, I started setting up team very slowly from since last August. I have in-house cameraman, in-house editors, kitchen assistant, cleaning staff, content strategist, and my PR agency. So I have built a huge team right now. It really helps me to take more work and be consistent. Otherwise, you're going to do yourself. One day you fall sick, everything falls apart. So when I have a team to take care, I know that even if I'm not there, somebody's going to handle that for me. So building a team and having a separate line between personal and professional life has really made a huge difference.
Nice. So starting from home.
Home kitchen window.
Yeah, as an individual, now having a full-fledged shoot studio with a staff working for you, that's the importance of being yourself.
No, I learned that delegation is the only way to grow. If you think you're going to do everything yourself, you're not going to go anywhere.
Makes sense. If you would recommend a vegetarian to definitely try 5 things in Chennai, what would it be?
5 things in Chennai. First thing would be dosa. Yaar. I'm a die-hard dosa fan. Eating circle dosa is my favorite.
Eating circle dosa.
That is my favorite. The second thing would be, people don't know much about Chennai street food, but I love that midnight Murtata's puff. I really go there at least once a week to have that puff and that buttermilk.
In the Greaves Road, you mean to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I love that. I think Chennai street food scene is very great at night. I really love that guy's puff and this thing. The third would be Annalakshmi, a very classic restaurant that's been running for almost 25 years now. And they're very consistent with their taste and the presentation. I really love what they do. And the days I'm feeling fancy, Avartana is a must try if you're coming to Chennai. Of course, you get vegetarian food also there, but nothing. I love how they've elevated South Indian food to the next level. And the fifth thing, I think I'll just invite them home. Come, I'll make you the best vegetarian food in Chennai.
Nice one. Good one, that was. Some rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
We have 1 minute to answer this.
Okay.
Max 1.5 minutes, 90 seconds.
It's going to be yes or no, or?
It's just going to be choices or one-word answers.
Okay.
All right? Instagram growth or creating impact, what's important?
Creating impact.
Becoming famous or becoming rich, what's important?
I'm a Marwadi. I think I need both. I want to become famous and rich.
Idli or pani puri or vada pav, which topic would go more viral?
I think Pani Puri.
Dal chawal or Italian pasta, what would go viral?
Dal chawal.
ASMR or trending audio?
Trending audio.
Discovering recipes on street or copying viral idea from YouTube, what's better?
Both.
Compare or collaborate?
Of any day collaborate.
Taste or presentation on Instagram?
Presentation, because you're going to eat with your eyes first.
What's comfort language for virality?
Relatability.
What's your biggest fear on Instagram?
Oh, I have this. I feel one day I'm going to wake up and Instagram is going to shut down and I don't know what I'm going to do.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Aruna, for being part of the show today. It was amazing, insightful session.
Thank you so much.
I think there's a lot of learning. I'm sure a lot of women will get inspired because I know when you went on MasterChef, almost every Marwari women out there who were just sitting at home looked up to you, started talking about you, especially in Chennai. Everyone was so excited about your journey. They possibly saw themselves.
Yeah, this happened with me. I went for a wedding recently. One lady came to me. She hugged and she cried. She's like, I'm glad कि हम तो कुछ नहीं कर पाए. हम में से कोई एक कुछ तो करा life में.
Right.
And I'm glad that I'm being the face of those millions of homemakers. And I feel I'm urging them to come out and do something on their own. Not for money, not to be famous, just to build your identity, just to make yourself feel good about you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Aruna, for being
Thank
here
you.
today.
Thank you so much, sir.
So that was Aruna Vijay for you with a lot of insights. I'm sure many of you would have been inspired by her journey. It just takes a phone for you to create your own identity. If you're right now stuck trying to figure out what to do with your life, then all that you got to do is live your passion. Well, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do not forget to follow us on Instagram. Please do share what was your biggest takeaway from today's podcast in the comment section below. I would love to read each one of them and reply back to you. Looking forward to see them.